This is Lippy Chalista Podcast, Living with Lipedema. Here's your host, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, the host of Lippy Chalista. It is Lipedema Awareness Month, and I am so excited to have Yana Etemadi back with us. She's an expert functional nutritionist who also has lipedema. Welcome back, Yana.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks a lot for having me again. I'm so glad you're not tired of me yet.
I am not tired of you. The people are not tired of you. I keep getting messages going, when are we going to hear more from Yana? So I'm excited. Okay. And people are exceptionally excited about this topic. So I can't wait to delve in and pick your brain about this information. So let's dive in. You ready?
Yes, let's
All right. So today we're going to be talking about mast cell. And so tell us, what is mast cell and what role does it play in our body?
Okay. So mast cell, they are the type of white blood cells. So, and they're not bad guys at all. They're really, really good guys. And they are involved in some allergic reaction, but they actually are our defended army of defense. So they are protecting us against pathogens. So mast cell, they're releasing various chemicals into the body. So prostaglandins, histamines, all these things, and this create inflammation, and it's a good thing. Some inflammation, like for example, when you cut your finger, your finger is getting a little bit inflamed and red and hot. This is a good thing. So the finger is making space to more blood to come to deliver nutrients to heal they heal the finger faster. It's getting more hot to protect from all the pathogens. So everything would come from inside to be killed, to all the cells come to protect us from the pathogen, to start repair and healing. So this local inflammation is actually a good inflammation. We need it. It's supporting all the healing process. So that's why the mast cell, they're actually protecting us from the bad bacteria, from infection, all the chemicals, all the toxin. So they are doing a great job, and they're such a good guys. We need them so much.
They are good. So if they're the good guys, can we damage them too much?
Yes. I mean, we can activate them. So they are there to protect us. And what can happen is we can overactivate them. So what's happening is, in our environment, in our today world, we are exposed to all the chemicals. There are triggers. We have mold. We have chemical. We are in the freeway. We're in the gas station. We're sitting on the couch that is sprayed with all the chemicals. We live
Candles.
Candle, oh my goodness, don't even start with the candles, with shampoo, new furniture, new floors, that new carpet that give the fumes. So all the heavy metals, parasite, COVID-19, all the infection. So all of this is just coming and it's activating this mast cell. So as they are designed to protect us, they are responding to this threat. So all this toxin and triggers, they are triggering them, and they just jumping and trying to protect us. So there are all these factors. EMF, oh my God, the phones, we're carrying it in our bras, on our behind, on our hands. We sleep right next to the charging phone. We holding the phone into our ears, always right here. With the wireless headphone in our ears all the time. So this is stress. Sleep, of course. So this is all, and the mast cell are trying to protect us, and they're always activated. So we're activating with all the stuff. So they are responding to all the stimuli, and they are activating, and they releasing these chemicals, activators and mediators. So that's why they release, and we will talk about the side effects, but they are part of immune system that are overstimulated. Just to understand that they are a good guys, they just overdoing their job, and they are really trying to protect, but you are giving them, protect me from this, protect me from that, and from that, and from that, and from that. And they're like trying, protecting. They're like, that's it. What do I do? So they're overreacting, overstimulated because too much things needed to protect from.
So basically, when you hear people say mast cell activation, it is protection. They're going into body protection mode.
Yeah. So when we triggering with all the chemicals, well, the infection, the mold is a big one. So when we're triggering with all this stuff, it's actually in this conversation we're talking about mast cell, we will come a lot to what we talked with you last 2 times, because all this thing, why we're doing all this stuff, all the change in the personal care, in the food, in the all this food that give us inflammation, all the all these chemicals in the food, all the toxin in the food, all of those triggering the mast cell. They triggering because the mast cell are there to protect. And we, again, when we give too much things to protect from, that's when they overactivated.
Just a side note, but we were on vacation this last weekend and I ran out of face cream and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So we go and try to find some. So we're using the Think Dirty app that you suggested. And I was shocked. We were like going around the house scanning all the barcodes at my mother-in-law's because she's like, let's see what's in this one and this one. And it's so interesting.
Yep. Yeah, my kids, this Think Dirty app, my kids have it blast in Walmart. They're like, oh my God, that's 8. Why it is 8? Oh my God, this is 9. I mean, they just find, oh, there is a Walmart that they have 1. I'm like, yes, I'm glad the Walmart has at least something 1. So this is great thing, especially to give it for kids because it's fun to them to do. They do all the scanning and they are learning. They're learning to make a good choices as well.
So if you don't have the app, download it, Think Dirty, and try it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's see. What's the difference between histamine intolerance and MCAS?
So histamines, they are so mast cell, they are producing all kind of chemicals. So mast cell, the histamines are some of the chemicals that mast cell produce. So that's so let me give this example. So here is the family. You live in the family in the house. And there is a family, mom, dad, and kids. So mom, dad will be a mast cell and the kids will be histamines. They produce these 2 histamines. And this is a great family who loves animals, who loves all these homeless animals. They love feeding them and take care of them and just doing this at home. So once in a while, they have animals, like homeless animals, coming to their house. They're opening the door and the mom, dad sending the histamine and say, okay, check out these animals, make sure all of them are more or less nice, and you will see some animals that is full of infection, all the fleas and all that stuff. Just make sure they don't come into our house and don't bring this inside. So these 2 kids, they're histamines. They go and they see these 10 animals. They say, okay, you all good. You 2 dirty, so you cannot come inside. I'll feed you outside. The 8 come inside. So that's what histamine does. They're pretty much reacting to something coming inside and they make sure nothing bad coming inside. So this is histamine. They're just doing this job. But one day, these animals, they are posting in their the newsletter that there is a home that feeds really good food. And all the animals around, all these homeless animals around learn about this and they come into the house and they coming not through the door, they coming through the windows, they broke the door, they broke the walls, and there are dogs, elephants, just, tigers, everyone coming with the fleas, not fleas, there's a lot of, and the mast cell is like getting activated already. Kids will not help at this point. The already mast cell has to come and protect their house. So this is this just example I took out of my head just to you to understand there are mast cell and there is histamines. So histamine is just some of the mediators that are produced by mast cell. So activate the histamine, we usually so histamine intolerance, a histamine activation, it's usually reacted to the food. And this is something that we have producing too much histamine, or we cannot digest some food, and usually it's fermented food, the food that was cooked a day or two ago, because a food that is cooked and kept in refrigerator is producing histamine. Bone broth, for example, is huge histamine because it's cooked for a long time. Cheese, alcohol, they all histamine release food. And there are actually fruits as well, tomatoes, strawberries, eggplants, they are all histamine releasing foods. So that will build up the excessive histamine, and this histamine is not breaking down, and it could be because of some issues like genetic, methylation, low enzyme DO, so gut dysbiosis, maybe even medication. So and usually the histamine intolerance is projected by reaction on the skin. So you will see this itching, hive, even eczema, acne, and you can have some cardiovascular, like heart palpitation, GI, you will have some bloating, diarrhea, some cramps. Very rarely, but also could be some respiratory, like nasal congestion, asthma, but it will not be in excessive. It will be 1, maximum 2. It's maybe will have some bloating, some small rash, and it will be just some of them. And usually, when you just follow low histamine diet or get some DO enzyme supplements and low histamine probiotics, that's pretty much you taking care of that. So where the mast cell, this is the big guys are activated. So this is excessive amount of mediators, not just histamines, and already the father and mother, they're already activated, the big guns are activated. And then already the side effect will be more severe, and it will include the skin reaction of hives and flushes, and it will be GI. So you will see not only a couple things, you will see multiple, and it will start getting worse and worse. So I have people who come and they say, I'm reacting on everything. And just like several months ago, I were reacting on like 50 thing. Now I'm reacting on 70 thing. And I know in like 3 months, it will react on 100 things. So they're reacting on more and more, even harmless thing, they are reacting on that. And they have multiple symptoms: respiratory, GI, cardiovascular, neurological, headaches, brain fog, anxiety, fatigue, so all kind of reaction more severe, because the big guys activated, they're reacting more severe. So it will be triggered by wide range of different factors. So not just the food, it will be food, but it also could be temperature change, physical exercise, stress, infection, environmental toxins. So all kind of this thing, it's not just the food, other things will be triggered. So people can come, we can stabilize mast cell, and then they go travel somewhere and they rent Airbnb, and they came inside, they take a breath, and this is the house with the mold. They smell the mold, and that's it, they triggered immediately. So that's already mast cell. They didn't eat some fermented food, they just triggered by the smell of mold, and they have to urgently change their Airbnb. And this is a real example of what's happening. So like I said, so histamine intolerance, that's mostly related to inability to break the histamines effectively. Yeah. So that will be histamine rich food, and usually it will be skin. It will be shown on the skin, sometimes something else, where mast cell, that's already broader, and it will be already various mediators. There will be a wide range of symptoms, and that will be already not just dietary, but the lifestyle, and it will be a lot of side effects, including brain function, all kind of
I have
stuff.
a friend that we can be talking on the phone, and it's just something that we would think is simple, and it sets her off.
Yep.
And
Yep.
she'll turn red, she'll get splotchy, her eyes will swell, she'll get congestion in her throat. I mean, It's amazing. And I had that happening to me before I changed my diet and didn't realize how many things were triggering me.
Yes.
So what are some of the main triggers for MCAS that set people off?
There are no such thing as the main triggers because
Okay.
different things trigger people differently, and some triggers are more serious than another. I would, for mast cell activation, the first thing I always look is mold. That's actually pretty much will be probably the main. Yeah. So it will be my first thing. What I would look at is mold when I see mast cell activation. Of course, I will not say just mold. I will look at others, but mold will be the first thing I would start digging into, and I will look at is there a black mold exposure now, or there was a history of that. And then already it's because the black mold it's just everywhere. So you just cannot get well if you are exposed to mold. I can give you the best supplements, the best food, the best lifestyle, but if you are living with the black mold and you're exposed from the home, from work, from the car, those who have convertible car, huge setup for black mold. There is not much I can do if there is exposure to mold. Also, the temperature change is the big one. Any kind of extreme temperatures, those who live in the hot weather, especially now, extreme heat, extreme cold, that's also one of the triggers, and the sudden change of the temperature. I remember when we were in Florida, there was this heat, and then you coming to the store and it's a cold. So this sudden change, Las Vegas or anywhere, this you're going from severe heat to severe cold, that might be the trigger. What else? The pollutions, the toxins, all the pollution, all the chemicals, all the cleaning, pesticide, like what we were just talking with you. Of course, dietary, the histamine-rich food, like I said, cheese, fermented food, processed meat, deli meats, alcohol, meat food that was cooked yesterday. The bone broth is such a healing thing. But God, if you have muscle activation, you have a problem with the histamine, I'm sorry, you cannot have bone broth. It could be that's where the point where you have to work with the professional, because sometimes the healthiest food, the bone broth, the staple of healthiest food, some condition you cannot have even healthy food, you might react to that. And of course, and again, tomatoes, tomatoes and nightshades, a lot of people react with nightshade, but strawberries, it's like everyone loves strawberries. You can react to that, chocolate. So, and of course, all the preservative, all the additive, everything what we talked with you on our first lecture or the first podcast. And of course, you have to look at the salicylates and oxalates. You have to check those as well. And then physical triggers, some people, especially with lipedema, especially those who in the beginning who didn't, still trying to have a big change, doing big thing to have a big change, and killing themselves in the gym and doing cardio and Pilates and then weight on top and just exhausting their adrenals. That could trigger as well. Surgery is a big thing. We are going through surgeries. A lot of lipedema women going through surgeries. Some of them going through several surgeries. And we talked with you at last time. It's a big stress to the body. So that's why you have to prepare for the surgery. You have to have a good lifestyle nutrition after the surgery, because the stress can trigger the mast cell activation. And the stress, of course, lack of sleep, any kind of infection, medical condition, COVID-19, bacteria, parasite, that's autoimmune. If you have autoimmune, you're also on the risk of having mast cell activation. several medication, please talk to your doctor, other medication you're taking, including actually antibiotics, because they are wiping up your immune system, and any kind of chemicals, physical stimulants like perfumes, there are all these candles and things like that. It could trigger as well. And Wi-Fi. Cell phones, God, just try turn off this 5G option, take off the wireless headphones. I mean, I'm not saying don't use it. I'm using that when I'm in the garden, because I just, it's good. It's convenient, but don't do it 24/7. Just use it when you just have both options, have wires and wireless, and use wireless where you absolutely cannot use wires. But when you're talking on the phone, take people on the speaker, don't put it next to. If you can't take people on the speaker, don't charge your phone right next to your bed. Put it somewhere far better in the other room, or turn off the Wi-Fi for night. Again, I will not saying if you will turn off the Wi-Fi for a night, it will completely change your life. But it's this small thing, trigger here, trigger there. Again, this activate mast cell here, activate mast cell there. It's about the bucket. Don't overload your bucket.
And I know I've told people this, and a lot of people think that I'm crazy. And it kind of makes me mad. But if I hold my cell phone too long, my whole hand and arm and chest starts burning. Like,
Yeah.
I'm super sensitive to cell phones. And so I have just learned to carry it around on a stick, or have it sitting next to me on speaker. I don't hold it to my phone if I don't have to. I don't use the little Bluetooth, whatever, but I am super sensitive to cell phones.
And a lot of people are sensitive to the Wi-Fi. I actually I was working with a lady, and we could not figure out why she's not sleeping. We did so much, and her sleep was just not getting better at all. I put all my ammunition on her, nothing was working. And then we just start digging in, and we figure out that the room she's sleeping, she had a router on the other room, also at the same wall where was her head. So it was just one wall division between her head and the router.
Wow.
So I said, okay, let's try and sleep in a different room. And she did. And guess what? She started sleeping.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. So see what's behind you in the room. Your kid is not sleeping. Do you have refrigerator or microwave there at the room? What you have next to your child? Do you have this wireless camera looking at your child day and night long? And how many wireless things just in the house? So around you, there are people who are sensitive. They are absolutely are, and I know them personally. I see it in the practice.
Well, it all of it amazes me, because you don't think. That's why I was like so excited to go to you, because even though I've tried to do my own research and learn things on my own and try to get rid of all the things, doesn't mean I know everything. And so when I went to you, I wasn't eating meat, but for certain reasons I wasn't. And then you're like, no, I need you to eat meat. And I know this is off topic a little bit, but my body is like, thank you, Yana. Like we don't know everything. We need to talk to an expert that knows things. If you go to a dentist, they will help you with your teeth. You go to an eye doctor, they help you with your eyes. Why wouldn't you go to a nutritionist to help you with your nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can do so much research. And when I was starting 17, 18 years ago, it was not much information. Now it's overload information. And I have people coming, they're just confused because everyone's saying something right now. Everyone is an expert. There is full Instagram of expert, and they just lost an information. They don't know what to choose. And I have people who come into me with like handful of supplements, and they say, this doctor recommended that, and they say it will help me, and I did buy it, and I did buy this, and I did buy this, and I did buy this. They already don't know what to buy, who to listen, how to make it order out of this shower and ocean of information.
Or I've seen people that just have like 30 or 40 supplements, and I'm like, you may not even need that.
Yeah. And there are a lot of things don't forget, even I like supplements. I give
Yeah.
you supplements. I mean,
Yeah.
there is a space for supplements, absolutely. But you have to understand, there is always a quality of the supplements, not, and I gave you the special link in the special company because it has to be a high quality. This is extremely important, the quality. But again, you cannot eat your way with the supplements and get away with the bad diet or not enough diet, because even vitamin C, if you eat any kind of broccoli or bell pepper that full of vitamin C, it's coming with bioflavonoids and it's coming with antioxidants and it's coming with other things that it's supposed to be in nature. It's not just coming vitamin C alone. So nature already packed in this perfect package that our body knows and recognize. And food is always the best option before the supplements. And that's why we talk about food and making good right food choices and eating variety of fruits and vegetables that you can have, and the food that your body will be okay with. And then we start talking about supplements, because
And
you can.
maybe another reason to go to you first. I was kind of shocked that when you sent me the list of supplements to get, they were cheaper than and better quality than what I was getting. And I was kind of shocked. And I think sometimes people think, oh, if I've got to pay for a nutritionist, it's going to be way more expensive. But it's not. Like, I'm saving money going through you. And then, two, maybe people, because they don't know, are on the right diet for them. Maybe it's not that it's a bad diet, but maybe it's not right for them at that moment. And so that's
Like,
why I'm like, go talk to Yana. She's amazing.
yeah, because again, the good food or fast. I have so many women coming fasting right now because fasting became a hype.
Yep.
And they're coming and I'm saying, I'm sorry, you cannot fast. And they're like, but everyone's saying it's good for you. I'm like, yeah, but not good for you.
Yep.
It could be good for 100 or 1,000 people, but it's not working for you. And it doesn't mean it's bad. And it doesn't mean you cannot do it ever, ever, ever. But right now, it's not good for you. So this advice is for the big masses might not work for you. The same like we were talking right now about bone broth. I love bone broth. I will be the first person to say that the bone broth made out of grass-fed, grass-finished bones, that especially, that made for like 1 or 2 days and then reduced and made with the garlic and spices. Oh my God, just go for it. But it's not work for everyone. I might say I can have a person with mast cell and I will say, I'm sorry, you cannot have it. We
Yeah.
might work with you to the point where you will have it because it is healing food, but it's not going to work for you at this moment. So let's work. So, and the good food, eggs, nightshades, tomatoes, bell peppers might not work. If you have some problem with the sulfur, maybe things like cauliflower and broccoli might not work. So even healthy food might not work for you. And unfortunately, like seriously, unfortunately, this is the world we live in right
Wow.
now.
And we can't do the same thing that everybody else does. If our friend does it, it may work for them, but it may not be working for us. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
tell us how mast cell activation is related to lipedema.
Oh, that's a great question. So we discussed, so the mast cell, this is overactivation and of the whole the stimuli, and of course all the stimuli most of all are bringing inflammation. And what is lipedema? Is low grade inflammation. And we talk, I mean, over this podcast, it's our third one. How many times I said inflammation? That will be the top my word, because controlling inflammation, because the lipedema is low grade inflammation, controlling inflammation is the key. So we have inflammation, and the chronic inflammation, it is the activator to mast cell. It is activating the work, the proliferation of the mast cell, absolutely. So this persistent chronic inflammation and this inflammatory environment that created in this adipose tissues, they are contributed to activation of the mast cell, because again, they are always trying to protect us from this inflammation. And also, because of this low-grade inflammation, that's activating immune system. And again, immune system dysregulation is increasing the chance of mast cell activation. So again, the disruption in the immune balance, this is also putting us on the higher risk of this mast cell response, like over response. Also, when you think about the lipedema, I mean, about the tissue, I mean, we all see our legs, they're tight. They're tight, they're big, but they are tight. So we have this fat nodule, we have serous fibrosis, we have things happening in our legs, and things are tight inside. So this is create the tissue hypoxia. So this is it's hypoxia is reduced oxygen supply. So because again, hypoxia does activate the mast cell, because that is a natural environment. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be so much fibers, the nodules. The thing that it's decreased the flow of lymphatics, decreased the blood flow, so it shouldn't be happening. And that is, of course, activate the immune system as well. The lymphatics, well, no, we all have issue with the lymphatics and lymphatic fluid leakage. Again, anything, so mast cell activated by anything what is not supposed to be happening. So we are not supposed to have the leakage of lymphatic fluids. They are not supposed to be in the interospace, in the muscular space, in the cellular space. It's not supposed to be there. And then this is activating mast cell, because they're like, okay, something happening that's not supposed to be happening. I have to go find out what is happening. So this is all activating. And then connective tissue disorder. A lot of lipedema women has this connective tissue disorder and hypermobility. This is also its integrity. It's a function of the joints. This is adding the inflammation of the joints, especially over the age, especially if there is no much of the physical, the sport, or the any kind of weight training, resistant training. Of course, it is affecting joint. The inflammation is there, and mast cell activating. And then, of course, metabolic, the hormone factors, that's the lipedema and estrogen. They are connected. So this is this is thought to be connected. So, and of course, the hormone disbalance, again, risk of activating the mast cell activation. So, and one of the most important thing that actually, because in our leg and the upper arm, we have more tissue, we have more fibers, we have just in general increased density of the mast cell. Just in general, we have it more. And the more of the mast cell we have, the more chances that we will activate it, and it will get crazy. And this is the reason actually Dr. Herbson coming and saying she see the mast cell activation in lipedema patient, because of all these factors. The whole lipedema tissues are setting us for failure and increasing the risk of getting the mast cells.
Oh, yeah. What symptoms might indicate mast cell activation in lipedema patients?
I mean, of course, most of all, it will be the histamine reactions. So the skin reaction, you will see all the itching, the hives, flush and redness of the skin, so the scratches. So especially this condition where you scratch your skin and the red lines, like 3D red lines, are staying on the skin. You can almost like write on your skin, and it will end up with this red line. That will be the activation. GI symptoms, so you will see the abdominal pain, cramping, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, both, or alternative diarrhea between constipation, bloating, and gas after the eating. Any kind of respiratory issues, when you start sneezing, when you have trouble breathing, asthma, like you have congested nose, runny nose, so things like that, more like, histamine reaction. You might have trouble with the heart. It could be low blood pressure or rapid heartbeat, any kind of palpitation. You will feel this definitely. A lot of neurological symptoms, the brain fog, it's the big one, difficulty concentrating, difficulty in the memory, anxiety. You can have mood swings. Big thing is fatigue. Fatigue will be huge because everything is on fire, and there is a lot of it should be taking a lot of energy to put this fire down. So you will be extremely fatigued. The headaches, you can have this persistent migraines that is just not stopping. Some people can have the joint pain because it is attacking joint. We have a lot of muscle in the joints, so muscle pain, joint pain, any kind of swelling, edema, so anything like that. The sensitivity will already have sensitivity, and that's one of the thing I'm saying right now. And you can start thinking, oh my God, that side effect of lipedema. Yes, that's where the problem is. They are so related, and it's very hard to determine which one which, but they are so close to each other. And it's really sometimes working with people, we are actually working to decrease inflammation, and I just see what are they reacting and how this thing happening, how treatment is happening, and what is like we're doing all this inflammatory diet and we're changing, and what's left, and what supplements they're reacting, what supplements they're not reacting, and you pretty much figure out where is lipedema and where is mast cell. And because you might, and of course, if you have any kind of allergic reaction, that will be the medical emergency, you can say. But most of all, they have, like I say, overall, there's a lot of reaction. It will be some allergic, like, nasal, watery eyes, the swelling on the eyes, but it will be of the GI, the cardiovascular, frequent urination actually also will be one of that, and the discomfort of the bladder, it's might be. So it will be, and the most important, remember that it could be episodic, so you can have it once in a while, and sometimes you might not even connect it because the body might smell mold or might smell something, or just feel, or it could be on your skin, and you might not even know that, and it will react, or it could be all the time. So it could be flare up, or it could be there chronically.
And not even know. I know yesterday I had like this red patch on my neck, and I'm like, I have no idea what in the world. I didn't touch anything. I didn't anything. And I was like, what happened? But something that was so interesting to me is because I went to so many doctors because I was sick all the time. They're like, is there mold in your house? We try to figure out all these things. And they had me on tons of medicine, tons of shot, tons of nasal sprays, all these things. Nothing was helping. And I really felt like in my throat that I was just drowning in mucus all the time. And when I got off of dairy completely, I have none of that at all anymore. And I take no medicine.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. The food, I mean, when people are coming, I'm usually, so I'm looking at the food, I'm looking at the mold, of course. But yeah, the food is always, you have to make sure there is mold-free environment, and you have to make sure you are eating the right food. So this is because gluten, casein, soy, this is like and all the chemicals, everything can bring so much. And the dairy, it is very mucousy production. So it is totally hear you.
And it's not good for lipedema in general. Lipedema is like all the things. We have all these mysterious things happening, right?
Yeah, and go figure it out. Yeah, good luck bad.
I know.
No wonder women are going doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor
Yep.
and don't know what's happening with them.
Yep. And then sometimes they just think you're crazy. Like, no, I don't know what all these things are. Yeah. Tell us how lifestyle changes can help us manage mast cell activation.
It's my advice is on the mast cell activation will not be so much different from what we were talking with you for the last two episodes. There will be
Okay.
some specifics, of course, that you have to go on low histamine diet. This is of course, so all the food that might trigger histamine and histamine release you have to avoid. So any kind of, like I was saying, the cheeses from the 8 cheeses, any kind of fermented food, bone broth, processed meat, does certain seafood. Some people even reacting on the meat, unfortunately, because meat is aged. And that's where there's the gray area. You have to test it and see, and maybe even talk to the butcher about that. But I don't see it very often, thanks God. And of course, the food that is cooked for a long time or is out that were cooked like 1 or 2 days ago. You have to go into anti-inflammatory diet, so it has to be anti-inflammatory diet, fresh food, fresh vegetables. The fish has to be fresh, so healthy fat. That is important. You have to drink a lot because you have to flush all these histamines. You have to flush it out of the body. You have to do this. There are some supplements that helping. There are some herbs and spices that helping, and there are some the things that, especially probiotic, prebiotic. There are some probiotic. You have to be very careful because there are some bacteria that is supporting the release of histamine. So you have to be very careful what you're taking if you're taking any kind of supplements. Also, as we were taking, reduce the exposure, reduce the bucket, all this that you have to make sure you don't have mold at home. Just test your home. Don't use the cheap test. Get the professional. Test the air everywhere in all your room. If you have a basement, if you have a history of water broke or pipe broke or any water leakage, if you live in the high humidity state, just spend the money, test your home, make sure you don't have mold. You might not smell it, you might not feel it, your body will feel it. There will be spores everywhere. Make sure you live. I just cannot stress enough about that, and I could repeat it many, many times because it's that important. Make sure you clean the house with the clean stuff. Don't use all the bleaches and chemicals. And God, please don't bleach the mold. That's like the worst you can do. And candles, perfume, make sure everything is clean. Make sure you have more or less stable temperature at your home. Don't go to this extreme temperature change. Manage your stress. Don't create extra inflammation. We already have a ton of inflammation. Start taking inflammation out of the body. So meditation, good healthy exercise. You have to exercise, but if you have lipedema, try to more do something like yoga, Pilates, walking. Working on fascia is amazing. Love working on fascia. So anything like that is great. Any kind of relaxation, breathing, box breathing, it can really, especially if you feel like anxiety or anything, box breathing is something that can help you immediately. Make sure you sleep good because not a healthy, good sleep also trigger stress, also trigger mast cells. So have a good regular sleep, and don't forget, sleep is not a bank account. You
Yep.
can't deprive sleep every day and then one day just, oh, weekend, let me just fill up my bank account and be good. Not working like that. You just cannot do this. You have to have consistent schedule, and you cannot go to bed past 12 at 1 or 2. Try to do it daily, especially if you have trouble sleeping. It's like babies. We have consistently scheduled, yeah, with the babies.
Yep.
We consistently put them to sleep at the same time. Nothing changes. We grow up. Nothing
Right.
changed. Things have the same. Create the routine for you going to sleep. Put the magnesium lotion. Go to the bathtub with Epsom salt. Read read some Bible or any other book. Regular book, not the electronic, not Kindle, not from your phone,
Yes.
not Instagram. Old-fashioned paper book. So read that and relax and just try to go sleep at the same time from Monday to Friday and Saturday, Sunday. Just try to do that. And make sure you sleep in the good environment. Make sure you have dark curtains, phone as far as you can. Best to wear the sleeping mask. I don't like TVs in the bedrooms. I always teach my clients bedroom is for two things, sleep and sex, nothing else. The body needs to know that when we hitting the pillow, that is time to sleep. Because when if I will tell you right now dining table, what you're gonna think about?
Food.
Exactly. So that's what body needs to know as well. If you sit at the dining table, oh, yeah, we'll say dining table, you think food. So when
Right.
body is sitting at the table, it will get hungry. It's becoming more hungry than it was before a little bit because the body is trained. This is the same thing. Train the body that it's hitting the pillow, it goes to sleep. You
Yeah.
cannot fall asleep. Get up, walk around the house, go back. Don't lie down hours and hours and hours with the phone, with TV, with the food in the bed. It's not made for that. The body would not know what to do in the bed when you're hitting the pillow. So that is extremely, extremely important. And avoid all the stimuli, so coffee, big exercise, that we talked about the phone. So again, there are some natural things, like I mentioned, you can get like quercetin is amazing. It's you can find it in many fruits and vegetables, and it's stabilizing the mast cell. Vitamin C is amazing. I love actually vitamin C for lipedema because it's not just helping with vitamin C, it's great antioxidant. It's also helping to build the vessel on lymphatic system because of the leakage. The vitamin C is part of the vitamin that will help to repair these leakages. So I love high vitamin C in with lipedema patient if you're okay with that, if your doctor allowed that. And vitamin C, again, the food. Citrus, strawberries, bell peppers, leafy green. Leafy green have ton of vitamin C and bell pepper. Not much people know about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the anti-inflammatory supplements. Of course, omega-3, make sure a good source of omega-3, curcumin, of course, bromelain. So all of that, stinging nettle. I love stinging nettle. This is all anti-inflammatory that will help to reduce this inflammation and stabilize the mast cell. And of course, make sure your personal product, all the cosmetic, all your cleaning product, everything is clean, nice. So reduce the load, reduce the toxin load, reduce all the things that activate the mast cells. So that is just, so I explained to you what is mast cell. It's right there. It's just mast cell activation is over trigger. So your goal, if you want to stabilize it, is start to remove all these triggers. The better you remove it, the happier your mast cells will be.
Yep. And I can hear people right now going, how do I do it all at once? And I'm like, do what you can. When you figure something out, get rid of that. And when you figure something else out, get rid of that. Like, don't overwhelm yourself and do nothing. Like, do one thing at a time and then the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah, because obsession with healthy lifestyle is also obsession that we don't need to have, because right now stressing out how to do all the changes, also activating stress and activating mast cell. Again, this is what we're talking that you don't need to do. So exactly what you said, take one thing at a time. Let's just clean up first all your cleaning supplies. Do all of that. Especially like you said, you're running out of something, you're buying something better instead. go through your pantry and make sure you don't have all the snacks, all the preservative, all that stuff. Start cleaning up your diet. Then start cleaning this, then work on your Wi-Fi. So just do one thing at a time. And by that, you will not be stressed and you will be able to make permanent changes. Because if you will start changing everything, you will lose it and it will be extremely hard. So don't do this.
Don't overwhelm yourself.
Don't overwhelm yourself.
One baby step at a time. Yana, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Great. This is very important. I really appreciate that you invited me to talk about this because, in the lipedema world, there is a big question: what is mast cell, how it's work, what to do with this, and what animal it is, and how to train this animal, how to handle that. So I'm glad that I can contribute to that and explain so people will know and not be scared of that, because again, mast cells are not bad guys. They're good guys. They just got out of control. So it's absolutely in your power to control it. Absolutely. There is nothing you cannot do.
Absolutely. And I mean, just learning lipedema for the first time is overwhelming in itself. So go back. If you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes with Yana, go back and listen to those. She is a wealth of knowledge. She has agreed to come back again. So we are going to have her back for number 4. And I don't know if we're going to be talking about microbiome or supplements and nutrition, or there's different things. So if you have a topic you want to hear from Yana about, please email me and let me know, and we will see what we can do. Yana, if somebody heard this one today and they're like, oh my gosh, I need Yana in my life, I need her as my nutritionist, how can they call you or contact you?
Yeah, you can go to my website. It's foodasmedicine.online, foodasmedicine.online. You can find me on all social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. You can join the Lipedema Connection Cafe. You can contact Sarah. So it's pretty easy. In our world, thanks God, it's very easy to find person. So yeah, you can contact me at any way, and I will be happy to answer question and book the consultation.
Love it. Yana, thank you so much. I look forward to the next one.
Same here. Thanks a lot for inviting, Sarah.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed that podcast. Content on this podcast is for educational purposes only, is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. To learn more about the podcast, visit the website lippychalista.com or email Sarah at lippychalista@gmail.com. She is also a certified life coach and financial coach. For a free consultation, visit the website jacksonlifecoach.com or email her at jacksonlifecoach@gmail.com.